Hi, folks. This is Monday, September 25th. Or Friday. Boy, this is Friday, September 25th. I'm trying to get Larry on the phone. I talked to him 15 minutes ago. He said he was going to take a nap, and I said, Larry, we have 15 minutes to go on. And I can't call him because there's something wrong with his phone that his call. Here he is. Hang on. Hey there. Okay, we're live already. So just to let you know, Larry, I did try calling the governor's office in Florida to ask about the status. I went to the legislature's website and typed in this Combating Violence, Disorder, and Looting and Law Enforcement Protection Act, and there was no report that came up on it. And so I called the governor's office and sat on hold for 15 minutes, and nobody picked up, and then they hung up.
Well, that's the one I assure you that we were talking about the other day. It's a good legislation, and what it's doing is it's just making all of that junk a felony. Now, he's just not going to tolerate it. They're not going to tolerate it. If you break a window in a store, you're going to get prosecuted for looting. Anyway, I mean, it's just a good deal, and it's just something more states ought to pick up on. At least the conservative states need to pick up on it.
I was wondering, I wanted to ask you, I know we need to keep the main thing, and the most important thing is making sure that we're doing everything possible to get Trump elected on November 3rd. But
right.
On the other hand, knowing that violence is coming to our communities immediately thereafter, is this something we should be contacting our state legislators? No. Okay.
No, I believe if Trump wins November 3rd, that's my opinion. That's all I can give you is my opinion. If he wins on November 3rd, I think there will be such a shock to the Soros people and the Democrats that there will be a cooling down period before anybody starts going ballistic.
Okay.
So you'd have a little bit of time if he wins. If he doesn't win November 3rd, it's as we've said over and over and over, I don't think much means anything anymore.
Yeah, I mean, if Trump doesn't win, I don't see how there's much of anything we can do, because they've already got so much. They've got so many of the sheriffs and prosecutors already in their pocket that where are you going to go to try and get anybody to do anything right anymore?
Yep. Well, that's what's going to happen if he loses. I think you're going to see the Republicans are just going to break down in a state of shock. It just all breaks down, Marilyn. It just all breaks down. Now there'll be a period where Trump will challenge. I hope he will challenge the credibility of the election, but he's already being hit hard by all of these questions. That if you lose, will you go along with a peaceful transition? So I just don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the things Schumer's really pushing.
Uh-huh.
What kind of transition will they do? I mean, and of course, none of them are talking about how obstructionist Obama's transition team was and letting him know the truth about what was happening.
Nope. All right, so we're live, right?
Yeah, Gloria says that more than 1,000 Virginia voters who applied for absentee ballots have received an extra one in the mail. State Republican Party officials said yesterday.
Great. So they've received an extra one.
Yeah.
That just clouds up everything.
Yeah, well, it's like the extra 1.8 million that are being sent out everywhere. They know that's the number to flip it. So
now look at this on the Fox poll. It was saying, who do you trust better to pick a Supreme Court nomination? And in Nevada, it was Biden 51 to Trump's 41. That's just absurd.
It definitely is. And as they shut the conservative voice down, I'm finding more and more people are no longer on Facebook that I followed, no longer on YouTube. They've just been cut. They're gone. And, it's just a matter of time before more of us are gone. And that's concerning. I did get a text asking us, should we contact our senators about the SCOTUS, Supreme Court nominee? Is it time to do that yet? Do we do that next week?
Next week.
Okie doke. So we'll discuss that on Monday.
All right, let's get on with the program. How many people are here?
40 right now.
Okay. Folks, I want to apologize for sounding the way I did yesterday. I understand I scared several of you. It's scary every day we wake up here. Number one, do we wake up at all? And then we wake up, what shape will I be in? But it's just the course we're going to have to run until November 3rd. So if anybody's got a question, I suggest you start getting it in now, please. It's Friday.
I just heard an interview with Fauci. I didn't get to hear the whole thing. I only heard about first 5 minutes. He apparently has been out because he had surgery on his vocal cords. He had polyps. And so that took him out of public eye for a while. And he said that the COVID commission that Pence was leading used to meet daily, and it's not doing that anymore while they're focusing on trying to get people back to work.
Well, you talking about Fauci?
Yes, sir.
The doctor?
Yes, sir.
That's another thing that's scaring me. The mainstream media has done an admirable job of considering many people in this country that this whole virus thing was Trump's fault. He did it. You, me, most of our listeners here can't, in our wildest imagination, find reason or just cause to place this at Trump's feet. But it doesn't matter. It's what the public believes. And they're being fed a bunch of lies, which we're used to. And I don't know what to say to folks other than this is just craziness. This is just how far we've gone over the deep end and going crazy. We truly are as a nation. One of the reasons I wanted Joe on the other day, and we'll have him back, hopefully next week, is to once again explain to all of y'all that it's not the first time that if we don't get this economy going, Trump's in real trouble. That was his strong suit. And it's hard for people that are sitting there unemployed, especially when the Democrats are withholding the passing of legislation to get some cash relief to them. It's hard for those people not to be mad at anybody. Whoever they can be mad at, they just got to be mad at somebody. They're hurting. And I told y'all a long time ago that the Democrats are going to hit Trump with the same thing that the Clintons used on Bush, Daddy Bush, in the beginning. If you'll recall, Clinton and the Raging Cajun, they came up with all types and manner of concepts of, the economy may be doing better, but is it doing better for you? And if it's not doing better for you, then, it's the incumbent's fault. So, there's a lot of disgruntled people out there, Mary Ellen, that are very disappointed that they want to be happy, they want to vote for Trump, but at the same time, they're sitting there with their spouse or whomever in their home and saying, look, you're all behind Trump. We're sitting there starving to death. What's he doing for us? And once again, it's hard to believe that you could lay it at Trump's doorstep, but they will.
So
they have, and they are.
Are the Democrats stopping the stimulus money to hurt Trump's fundraising from small donations?
Yes.
Among many things, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of many reasons to block it. They're just all around trying to hurt Trump no matter what. Pam was listening to Ron Paul this morning, and he had a stroke during the show.
Ron Paul Senior or the young one?
No, Ron is the senior. Rand is the younger one.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. We're all going to go sometime. I'm fighting it myself.
Yeah. Do you ever have any? I think this answer is obvious too. But why are the Democrats dragging out the Flynn case?
Why are they dragging it out?
Yeah.
I don't know that the Democrats are dragging it out. I think it's more the judge. The judge in the case does not want Flynn let off the hook. The judge in the case, to my knowledge, the judge in the case, when Flynn pled guilty for whatever the reason, yes, I know they were holding his son basically as extortion, etc., etc. I know all of that. But that judge just is hell-bent to say, hey, the man pled guilty and we're not going to change it.
Yeah, that's Judge Sullivan, isn't it?
I guess. Of course, that puts Trump in an untenable situation in that he can't pardon Flynn yet until after the election. But at the same time, to a lot of the people that support Trump and Flynn, it looks as though Trump has let him out, hung him out to dry, throwing him under the bus. That's not the case. You know, there's a time for everything, folks. There is. And I wish Trump was starting today his second term, because if he was, he would have a lot of freedom to do what he knows is right, what he wants to do that is right, but he can't. He's got to wait until this election's over. Anybody got any questions?
Pam says Mnuchin is saying Pelosi is ready to talk about the stimulus, and Mnuchin thinks people have gotten to her with pressure.
No.
Sounds like Mnuchin's trying to just get some sound bites out there for himself.
Well, Mnuchin, I've talked to him, and he thoroughly believes that Pelosi is about to break under the pressure. He believes that there is enough of a backlash against her that she's about to break. Well, Steve doesn't understand. He, like Trump and so many of Trump's inner circle, while they are brilliant in their respective areas of business, they don't understand politics. Pelosi's not ready to break. If she were going to break relative to kind of stopping pressure coming back on her, she would have done it. But she hadn't. Now she may be looking as though she's softening strictly for the purposes of, she's not so sure that it's not hurting her. She's not ready to break.
Yeah. Politics is sure. It's mind-boggling. It's so different from our everyday world.
Just like I've told you since the beginning, politics makes for strange bedfellows. 1 minute they're with you, 1 minute they're against you. 1 minute they love you, the next minute they hate you. The best thing to do always is take whatever they say and take the exact opposite, and you'll know closer the truth. It's all lies. It's all optics.
All lies.
See, y'all didn't even know when we first talked, all of us, when we first started getting together. You weren't familiar, I bet you, with terms like optics relevant to politics.
No.
You didn't ever hear that. Optics, stuff like that. Those are technical terms inside the Beltway. You didn't have to deal with them, so you didn't.
Josephine says it's all acting.
It's all acting. It's all theatrics.
We talked about last night something, Larry, that, maybe we want to wait till next week to talk about, but on the other hand, um, did you had suggested maybe discussing the miracle that we had 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And did you want to talk any about that today?
Well, guys, I said it, Mary Ellen said it, many of you said it. In 2016, we saw, all of us, a modern day miracle. For those that believe God isn't involved in what we're trying to do, you're wrong. Look at 2016. There is no way. I tried to tell y'all there was no way, zip way, that Trump could have beaten Hillary. No way.
Larry, you said that up to 2 days before the election and probably even the day before the election. And when we saw the result the following day, you were just absolutely on the floor in shock.
You couldn't beat her. The numbers were all there. To a professional, the numbers were all there. I mean, she had it won so much that they had the balloons and everything ready to go for their victory party.
And the front cover of the Newsweek magazine with her picture.
Yeah. I mean, it was all there. But yet he won. And I attribute that to something you found, Mary Ellen, that I certainly knew nothing of, which was that 7:14 thing, Chronicles.
2 Chronicles 7:14.
Guys, what Mary Ellen found a couple of weeks before the election, she found the one place in the Bible, one place in the Bible where Jesus told us with specificity what we had to do to save our land. I don't think anywhere else in the Bible does he just come out and tell you, do this, do this, do this, and I'll save your land. I just don't think it's anywhere else in there. Maybe it is. Some of you are biblical people more than me, and maybe even more than Mary Ellen, but that was the one place, the one time when he laid it out for us all. God still has his hand in this. He does. Now, that does not mean we're to do nothing. Doesn't mean that at all. It's just, I believe, he's trying to prove to us, as he has throughout the ages, that he loves his people. We're his people. He wants to help us. He wants to protect us. But we've got to do our part. We must do our part. And in 2016, he certainly proved it to me. I don't know about the rest of you, but he certainly did to me. Now, some of you would say, well, the fact that you're still here, Larry, is that miracle still going on today? Well, number one, I don't hold myself in that high of esteem. I just don't. But I do believe God holds all of us to be His word. And that's what we're trying to do. Now you may say, well, why have we not gone as yet to Chronicles 2, 7:14 or whatever? It's not time. It's just not time yet. It will be soon enough, but it's not yet. You know, I'm trying to keep us, all of us, where we are supposed to be, which is focus, focus, focus on the one thing that we can do for November the 3rd, and that's get ourselves out to vote and get as many people out to vote as we can. Convince people that they're not to panic. They're not to go thinking God's turned a blind eye and deaf ears to us. He hasn't. It's there for us to use. Another part I still don't understand, but it's no biggie that I don't understand it. But you know, it's like we were talking last night, Mary Ellen, I'm still confused on and seek God's face. F-A-C-E, face. Why doesn't he say and seek God's faith or something more direct? Towards his, you know, his words. But he doesn't. He said, seek my face. Now, would you tell the audience what you told me about the significance of him saying, and seek my face, F-A-C-E?
Yeah, I started with Jeremiah 29:13, where he says, I will be found, seek my face, I will be found by you if you search for me with your whole heart. When God turns his face towards you, that is an indication of his approval of you. Now, nobody was allowed to see God's face and live, because if they saw God's face, God told, I think it was either Moses or Elijah, that if anybody saw his face, they would die. And yet Moses, in his humility and in his leadership of the nation, went up on the mountain, Mount Sinai, and saw God and spoke with him face to face. So we are to seek to live such a godly life that God will turn his face toward us. And in Numbers 24, hang on just a sec, where the blessing that Aaron gave the people, the Lord bless you and keep you, the Lord make his face to shine upon you. This is an indication of God's blessing. And so we want to have God's face on us because of his grace and his love and his mercy towards us, and his willingness to bless us and do good things for us. And so that's why we're to seek his face. It's a little unusual way of basically saying seek for God's blessing on you, but we're to seek it. And like I said in Jeremiah 29:13, we find it if we seek it with our whole heart. And it's just like Deuteronomy 6 that God said when he said, what is the most important commandment? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, all your strength. We're to do it with, really put effort into it. Walking a godly life, like I said in Titus yesterday, where verse 1 says, knowledge of the truth will lead to godly living. And then the next to last verse says that we are to, hang on a sec. I was just writing about it yesterday, this morning. The next to last verse 3, verse 14, our people must learn to devote themselves to doing what is good in order that they may provide for daily necessities and not live unproductive lives. So we're to live godly and live in a productive manner. And we do this by getting to know God and know what he says. That is seeking after God. And in Matthew 6, I think it says, where he said, ask and it'll be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. But the Greek word for ask, seek, and knock is not just a one-time thing. We're to keep on asking, keep on seeking, keep on knocking. And so we really have to put effort into seeking God. And so that's what that's talking about.
Well, folks, I hope you understood that better than I did. The only thing I remember in some of the teaching that I have gotten over the years with Pastor Sanders and Joe was there were these Sadducees and Pharisees, and they had everybody sucked into believing that in this room was I guess it was the Ark of the Covenant or whatever, something was in there. And they had all the people convinced that you can't go in there, because if you go in there and you see it, you'll die. The only ones that could go in and see it were these, whatever you call them, preachers, pastors.
It was the high priest.
High priest.
And he could only go in once a year, and they always tied a rope around his leg so that if he didn't come out, they would suspect that he had died and would be able to pull him out, because if they went into the room, they would die. Well, it's just like when David was moving the Ark of the Covenant back to Jerusalem, that the priests were supposed to carry it on their shoulder with a pole, not touch it. There were rings on the side of it to carry it with a pole, and instead they had it on a cart, and the cart went over a bump, and it started rocking, and somebody put out his hand to steady it so that it wouldn't fall off the cart, and that guy died on the spot.
Yep. So that was the only thing I ever heard about seeing his face. If you went in that room and you saw that covenant or whatever it was, if you saw it, you died. Until see God's face in 2nd Chronicles, whatever. And then Mary Ellen explained it to me, and it makes some sense. A lot of sense to somebody like me, but some. Okay. The other thing that I've tried to do with y'all, and this is embarrassing for me because, once again, I'm not worthy. But I felt like all this time that if somebody like me, who has led the life I have, I don't think anybody can doubt my toughness. I hope you wouldn't. I'd hate to have to prove it again. That maybe it would be easier for some of the guys out there to come forward with their faith. Say it. Say it out loud. I don't pray out loud in front of God and everybody. I don't do that very often. Y'all know that. But I still thought that maybe in my own way I could help people come to God. I thought, hope, maybe. I don't know anymore. I don't know if I've been good or a detriment. But I do know this. Now time for any of us to check our faith at the door. It's just not. Now, I don't believe in browbeating people with our faith. I don't believe in that. But I do believe that now is the time when God's looking at us and saying, you want me to help you. Surely you don't want me to help you, and then at the same time you're going to deny me. You're going to be embarrassed by saying my name. Folks, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed about calling on Jesus. I'm not embarrassed about saying God. I'm not embarrassed. I used to be. Not anymore. I'm not embarrassed me saying his name. I'm embarrassed that I don't feel worthy of his love for me. You know, it took me forever. I mean, forever to understand grace. I just couldn't figure it out. I mean, grace is some kind of thing so far above normal that I don't know how you even categorize it. Can you, Mary Ellen?
His grace? No, that's really beyond comprehension. How he, yeah. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. That's in Romans. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mind-boggling for sure.
Yeah. I mean, after all we've done, kicking him out of schools, kicking him out of public buildings, kicking him out of this, that, and the other, man, I would just walk off and say, to hell with y'all. I would. But then that's me. There's something about his grace. Something about it. It's just so much bigger than love. It just is. Now, I've tied up this whole program doing my preachy thing, which is not much. Has anybody got any questions? And I know my throat sounds horrible. I'm sorry. Don't panic. I'm just sorry.
Okay. PJ says your honesty is, whoops, got to scroll up to read it. Something else came in. Your honesty is very uplifting today. So, and Julie says none of us feels good enough. So, Robert is asking, he's asked 3 times. So, do you have an opinion on who Trump should pick, Amy Coney Barrett or Barbara Lagoa?
I think he should pick, excuse me, I think he should pick the one he chooses. Not me, not you, him, the one he chooses. Now, it seems as though, it just seems this way to me, he has not asked me and therefore I have not told him. But it seems to me that that one that is the Catholic with 7 kids seems to be high on his short list. I would pick her just simply because of the quandary she forces Pelosi and Schumer, all those guys, to be in. You know, they're the ones walking around claiming they're these big Catholics. Einstein, all of them. You know, they're the big Catholics. Choose her to meet those words. I wonder sometimes that maybe they just really don't, Mary Ellen and Robert, maybe they just really don't realize how stupid they sound. But, you know, when I see Dianne Feinstein say, well, you know, where in your faith as a senator or a congressman is different than your faith as it connects to you being a judge. Well, see, even dumb as I am, I can figure that one out. Number one, if you are a Catholic and you truly are what you say you are, then you should wear that every day regardless. If a guy that's a plumber can wear his faith as a plumber and is expected to every day as a plumber, then what's the difference between a judge? You know, a judge interprets the law. Congress shall make all laws. So what's the difference? But they never cease to amaze me. Never. What else you got, if anything?
Their own hypocrisy stands in stark contrast to what they try to hold, the standard they hold for others. A quick question about Hillary going to witches' churches, and do others in government do that as well? Do you know?
Uh-huh.
Yes, many of them are involved in it.
Yes. She and Linda Bloodworth Thomason were very active, and once every 4 to 6 weeks, I would have to raise the money from the travel fee or money at ADFA for Hillary to go to LA so that she and Linda could go out there to a witch's church. And I distinctly remember saying to Hillary over and over and over, Hillary, you just, you know, you got to at least come out and say it's not true. Just, if you get caught doing that, that'll be disastrous. And she looked over her shoulder at me several times. She would never look at me when she answered this question. It was kind of odd, but as I look back on it, I see it. She never looked at me. She would just turn her head back towards me, and she would say, I can't. Now, from I can't being her answer, I assumed that to mean she had made a deal with the devil that she could not come back home, while at the same time, you know, she had to carry on this charade with God, you know, with Jesus. I mean, I don't know, out of my league wasn't something I spent a lot of time thinking about. I did spend a lot of time worrying about, but not in the way some of you would think I would worry. I would just simply worry that if she got caught, that'd look bad.
Was the blue dress a cover-up for what Clinton was doing with China? A distraction, in other words?
No. You talking about the blue dress with the stain on it?
Yes, sir.
No, that blue dress came to be when I was being squeezed by Starr, and I was being squeezed by Paula Jones' attorneys They're saying we've got to have evidence. There's got to be some DNA proof that all Bill was saying about Lewinsky was a lie. Well, I went to Linda Tripp and I asked Linda, who at that time was on ice by Paula's attorneys and by Starr, but Starr had fairly well released her from any commitment she had made because they wanted Monica Lewinsky. And Linda Tripp said, hey, I know there was a dress that we took over, or I took over, meaning her, that she took over to Chuck. And so that y'all know, Chuck was listed all those years as a cook at the White House, an executive chef, executive chef. But he wasn't an executive chef to anybody. He was a pimp, so that as foreign dignitaries and others would come to visit the White House or Clinton or Bush or whomever was in there, Chuck was in charge of hooking them up with whatever they wanted. Girls, if it was kids, if it was guys. He was the White House pimp for years and years and years. And so I went to him and I told him about it. He remembered very distinctly the dress. He thought it might be too late to recover it. That he had personally taken it to the cleaners. I asked him to check. He checked. And he called me and said that he had found it, but it would cost $500 for me to get it from him. And I paid him the $500. Of which, by the way, I didn't have the $500, but I got it from Paula Jones's attorneys. And that's how we came up with the dress. It was simply evidence. It was proof. It was proof that Bill could not get around. Had it not have been for that dress, we couldn't nail him down. Because there truly was no DNA evidence anywhere to be found that was incriminating enough to get him.
You ever thought what a God thing that was to orchestrate all that to work the way it did?
No. Not at that time, I didn't.
I didn't ask about it at that time. Since then?
Well, looking back today, Mary Ellen, I see a God thing in a lot of things that I didn't see
At the time.
at the time when it was going on.
So I forgot who asked this. Somebody was asking if the militia is being organized to resist the coup.
What now?
Are militia being organized to resist the coup?
No. You and I talked about this before coming on today. Guys, do not worry. The military will not turn on President Trump. I know you've all heard the stories. Now here again, see, here we're getting off of our main mission and goal, which is to get him elected November the 3rd. But I know you all heard the stories, apparently, I haven't, Mary Ellen has, of generals that Obama had put into place that would, or planning or whatever to lead a coup against the president and get him out of office. That is not true. Obama may have had the intention of getting the military people to turn on the president, but folks, there's never been, to my knowledge, a president that has done as much as this president has to protect and serve President Trump. I mean, for what he's done for the military, there just never has been. Now, if you say, well, but if the generals ordered the soldiers to go forward with a coup of sorts and get rid of Trump, well, they're not going to, because that would be considered an illegal order. And anybody that's been in the military knows that a soldier, even getting a direct order from a general, if that order is illegal, they're obligated not only to not carry it out, they're ordered to disobey. So please don't worry about a coup against this president coming from the military. It's not going to happen. Not to mention the fact I doubt there are that many generals still in the general staff left over by Obama that would turn on President Trump. I think he's been fairly effective at getting rid of those people since the day he got in. I really do. So just don't worry about that. That's not where our fate, that's not where our worries need to be. Gosh, Rosie.
And that kind of talk distracts us from our mission. We really do need to be very, very focused in the next 5 weeks to vote and get out the vote, help to get out the vote. I went to.
Rosie, hush, baby, please. She's all wound up. Somebody walked by the front. You know, guys, we've got a mission. It's called fidelity. Fidelity. And that's fidelity to our duty. Our duty between now and November the 3rd. Our mission, the mission we are to maintain and hold our fidelity to, is get him reelected. Short of that, nothing matters. I can't say that enough. Short of that, nothing matters. If he loses November the 3rd, everything you and I and all of us know about the greatest country on earth, the greatest gift God has given any nation, is down the tubes. Everything changes. And I like what Trump said the other day. Might as well quit calling it socialism. It's communism. They're moving us right into communism. They're not even passing go and collecting $200. It's communism. That's where they want us. And that's what they're going to achieve if they can pull off a victory November the 3rd. I assure you all that President Trump is aware, very much aware, that stay on mission, stay there. Surely we can do that through November 3rd. And remember, it's not just us. Think of the things you can do to support people, to get them to come out and vote at the nursing home, at your family, with your relatives. Think about it. Stay on mission. Anybody else, Mary Ellen?
No, sir. They're quiet now. Oh, I forgot to put up your PayPal. We have 70 here today.
Good.
Folks, Larry needs, as we say every day, he needs help with these medical bills that are just astronomical. So his PayPal account is nicholslive@aol.com. And if you can't do PayPal, the website nicholslive.com has other alternatives. You can mail cash to him. You could write a check to me and mail to him. You can call me. My phone number's on the website, nicholslive.com. You can text or call, and I have other ideas of what other ways that we have gotten money to him now that I'm near enough to be able to run and pick up things for him. We used to need Western Union and Walmart to be a bigger amount because he had to pay somebody to go pick it up. He doesn't have to do that now that I can go for him. So I am willing. So Paul, I don't think we want to.
I'm sorry, I went on mute there. I had hoped, Mary Ellen, that when I finally broke down, which I did, that it'd be over having to raise money. I was wrong. There is a copay, even with Medicare. Anybody's got Medicare, Medicaid, there's a copay that has to be met. And it's eating us up right now. So I need it today. I need it today. If I'm caught in a bind this weekend and need to go to the hospital, I've got to be able to pay up some of the back that I owe them.
Yeah, he can't go to the hospital at all. He can't go to the doctor and get any medical care at all without putting something more. Each time he goes, he has to put something on the copay.
So, folks, we got a weekend coming up. That means nothing comes in. I just need your help today. I'm begging you for it, please. I'm holding together all that I can hold together to get me through November 3rd. Once November 3rd gets here, once it's here and gone, I don't guess anybody needs me at that point. So there'll be some relief. But until then, I've got to beg your help today. Is there somebody out there, please, that can help? It's painful. It's hard to ask you. It's hard for you to come up with it. Rosie, hush, baby. But I got to ask for it. We got to.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
No, that's it. Paul is asking about Jewish dogma, but I don't know. I don't understand what the question is. What do you think about Jewish dogma?
What? I was telling Rosie to hush. You're asking about Jewish dogma.
That's what he asked. Yeah. What do you think about Jewish dogma?
To be honest, here again, I don't know enough about Jewish dogma to feel free enough to say anything about it. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I've tried to make it clear to y'all. I'm certainly no biblical scholar.
All right, we've got 2 people saying they will do something, but I hope you're able to do it through PayPal because that gets to him immediately. Josephine says, God bless Rosie. So Paul is saying, as in Feinstein's dogma about Catholicism, I think. But anyhow, we're after the top of the hour, so thank you to the 2 who donated. If anybody can pitch in as well, that would be greatly appreciated. And
yeah, and folks, I'm not kidding, please. I'm not kidding. I've got to have it this afternoon. I've got to. I wish I didn't, but I got to. Please tell me you'll help. Please tell me until November 3rd we'll hold it together somehow. Please. God's lived up to his part of the deal. I begged him to just keep me around till November 3rd. Just keep me here. And looks like he's going to live up to his deal. That's up to me to live up to mine.
well, we're doing the best. I'm doing the best I can to try and help you. So,
I know you are.
and we have people in here that are doing the best they can. And,
I know.
we got, yes, Robert, Nichols Live News somehow got associated with Larry's PayPal account. I don't know how and why, but it does get to Larry. So yes, Robert, that works. I know it does that with my PayPal too, but he does get it. So the Nichols Live News, when Jack was...
Oh, God, I never got any of that.
No, wait a minute. No, because when you put in Nichols Live at AOL.com, it bumps to Nichols Live News, and you do get it.
I do.
Yes, because I have confirmed that you do.
Okay.
So
Good.
I don't know why PayPal does that. It's a little strange, but they do it. So somebody said that there's an organization or a company called Good RX that helps with
that pharmacy.
Probably, yeah. So he was just asking if you've heard of it to use. Somebody's sending 10. Can anybody match that 10? Mimi is sending 10.
If anybody can send 1,000 right away, I need 2. Can anybody send 1,000 right away? That's how desperate this is.
Yeah.
Please. Keep me in it until November 3rd. And then after November 3rd, y'all don't ever have to listen to me again. I don't know that I'll be of any value to anybody after that.
Well, I don't like
one way or the other.
I don't like hearing you talk that way, so.
Well, I don't care.
But I'll hang up on you if you keep that up.
We've come this far together. We must not stop now.
Absolutely.
So, is there anybody out there that can? Will you please send a message thing to Mary Ellen right quick saying you can or you will? Please.
Okay. If you don't want to say anything publicly here, I'm putting my phone number in the chat. And just send me a text message and I can get the message on to Larry after we hang up. So I'm not seeing.
All right, guys.
Yeah, we got up to 66. I think we might have hit 70.
You got what?
We're up to 66 people. I think we hit 70. So,
All right. Please, somebody help.
yeah.
Please, somebody help. It's desperate. With this weekend coming, I can't be cut off.
Yeah.
I can't.
No.
It's just too risky right now.
Yeah. All right, folks, do what you can, please. And if it gets too desperate, we'll have to come back on over the weekend, or I will, and just let you know what the status is.
And once again, I want to say this. I want you to hear it. Mary Ellen is doing all she can do and then some to help me. Me. And you. And all of you. Y'all have no idea what all she does to help all of you. I don't ever want to hear people making snide remarks about her. I can't allow that. I can't allow it any more than I'll let anybody make smart alecky remarks about any of y'all. You don't necessarily get to hear it, but Mary Ellen certainly has. When somebody makes remarks about y'all for listening to me, I don't like that. You're my friends. You're my dearest, closest friends. And I don't let that happen. So can we please stay together? Body, spirit, soul. November 3rd. November the 3rd.
We'll
It's
do it.
getting harder. I think all of you know that. You can hear with me. It's getting harder. But stay with me. Please stay with me.
All right, PG and Carol. Carol's going to call me to see what she can do because her PayPal's not active. So,
Said what?
Carol's PayPal is not active, so she's going to call me after the show here.
God. Somebody help, please. Somebody. Desperately.
Oh, goodness.
And I do want to say also to all the people like Danny and Benton, Sling County, all of you that I've talked to over the years, that I don't get to talk too much anymore, hardly at all. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm out of time. I'm out of time. I don't like being this way. But I don't get to talk to any of you the way I wish I could. So please forgive me. It's not me. I don't mean to be rude. But Joel, all of you, just know till November 3rd, we stay on mission.
Yep.
What you got, man? You want to say something?
No, that's it. We have five of these bumper stickers left. So text me if anybody wants one. So, James, you're kind of off topic there with your conversation. So let's I don't know what else to do, Larry, but to wrap it up at this point. So Carol, call me as soon as possible. I put my number in the chat. Let's see what we can do. Robert sent 10, Mimi sent 10. I know that's a long way from the 1,000 you need, but folks, pray in whatever you can't give for what he needs, okay? All right. All right. Thank you guys very much. And Zachary, if you text me for the stickers or the book, okay? Because Mark moved away. All right. So, all right. Thanks, Larry.
I guess.
Okay. Bye now. Okay. Bye. I mean, you can hear him struggling to breathe there at the very end, folks. So, I mean, really, if you can't do anything more, and I understand, believe me, I understand. I'm in that scary place where it's hard to hear what he needs and not be able to do it. So, as April says, pray hard, because God can bring in what's needed if he chooses to. And Larry desperately wants to be here for the duration of this. So, anyhow, that's enough for today. I'm not going to beg anymore. Thank you guys. Thanks for calling me, Carol. I look forward to your call. And Zachary, go ahead and text me and let me know what you want. Thanks. Bye-bye.